The Trial of the Grand Crusader is a raid instance introduced in the World of Warcraft expansion Wrath of the Lich King. While it may not be explicitly referred to as a catch-up phase, it does serve that purpose to some extent within the context of the expansion. In Wrath, the initial raid instance is the Naxxramas raid, which was a remastered version of the original raid from the classic version of the game. Naxxramas was designed to be accessible to a wide range of players, including those who were relatively new to raiding. Following the release of Naxxramas and Ulduar, players who had already cleared the raids and reached a higher level of gear progression were seeking new challenges. The Trial of the Grand Crusader was introduced as a way to provide a fresh raiding experience. Trial presented a higher level of difficulty compared to Naxxramas, but less than the previous Ulduar raid. Ulduar featured tougher boss encounters, stricter time limits, and harder-hitting mechanics. It required better coordination, gear optimization, and higher player skill to overcome its challenges. Trial, however, offered an opportunity for players who hadn't cleared Ulduar to catch up to the gear and experience level of the more advanced raiders. This catch-up aspect of Trial came in the form of reduced gear requirements and a relatively shorter raid size. Zero Trash. Trial has a flexible difficulty setting that allowed players to choose between normal and heroic modes. Normal mode served as a stepping stone for players who were progressing from Ulduar and aiming to gear up for the harder heroic mode. By completing Trial on normal difficulty, players could obtain gear that was comparable to the gear dropped in normal Ulduar, thus bridging the gap between the two raid instances. Additionally, Trial has a 10-player version for smaller raid sizes, making it more accessible for guilds and groups that might not have had a full roster of raiders or the resources to organize larger raids. While the Trial of the Grand Crusader may not have been explicitly designed as a catch-up phase, it serves as a means for players to bridge the gear and experience gap between Ulduar and more advanced raid content in Wrath of the Lich King. Its reduced gear check fights, flexible difficulty settings, and smaller raid size made it accessible to a wider range of players and helped them catch up to the level of gear and progression attained by more experienced raiders. Now is the perfect time to gear up alts in preparation for Phase 4, Ice Crown Citadel. Gear is super easy to obtain through 10 and 25-man trial raids and plus dungeons.